Welcome in or welcome back. Today we're going to be reading chapter 3 from the Two Worlds Path scripture, and it's book 12. Yeah, book 12, the Sacred Bond. Okay. Chapter 3 is called The Walker's Courtship Framework, the 7 Seasons of Sacred Approach. Do not rush the fire. What is kindled in haste is extinguished in haste. What is built stone by stone with care and with patience and with the full weight of your attention will stand in the storm. Having received, that was the Elder Instructor's second discourse on the art of approach. Alright, having received from the world's traditions the treasury described in the preceding chapter, the Two Worlds Path now sets forth its own framework for sacred courtship, the 7 Seasons of Sacred Approach. This is the original courtship framework of the Walker's Canon, synthesizing the wisdom of many traditions into a workable, beautiful, and rigorous process of loving approach. The 7 seasons are not a checklist and they are not a guarantee. They are a map, a way of moving through the landscape of forming love with intention. Alright. With care. Okay. They are a map, a way of moving through the landscape of forming love with intention, with care for the beloved, with honesty about the self, and with the full engagement of the community that holds both people. Each season is given a name, a symbolic object or act, a duration, a purpose, and a test. The test of each season is the question the walker must honestly answer before proceeding to the next. The path asks the walker to answer these questions truly, not as they wish the answer were, but as it is. The first season, the season of the spark. The season of the spark begins in the moment of initial attraction, the first arising of interest, recognition, or desire. The spark may be felt as a quickening of attention, a heightened awareness of a particular person, a sense of resonance or beauty that distinguishes this person from others in the walker's field of perception. The teaching of the path at this season is counterintuitive and for many walkers demanding. The spark is acknowledged but not yet acted upon. The walker who feels the spark does not immediately approach, pursue, or declare. Instead, the walker enters a minimum period of 21 days of intentional observation. The purpose of this period is essential and cannot be abbreviated without cost. The walker is distinguishing between 3 very different experiences that can all represent the spark. Genuine resonance, which is the recognition of a soul genuinely compatible with one's own. Projection, which is the overlaying of the walker's desires and inner imagery upon a person they do not yet truly know. And compulsion, which is the pull toward a person not because they are genuinely suited, but because they resemble someone from the walker's wound history, activating familiar patterns rather than healthy ones. Projection and compulsion feel exactly like genuine resonance in their first moments. Only time, sobriety, and honest observation can begin to distinguish between them. 21 days is the minimum. A walker who feels uncertainty may extend this period as long as needed. During the season of the spark, the walker observes. How does the person treat those around them? How do they speak of others? who are absent? How do they bear frustration, inconvenience, or conflict? How do they speak of those who have less power than themselves? What does the walker genuinely know about this person? Not what the walker has imagined, hoped, or projected, but what have they actually seen? The Remembrancers wrote, "Many a walker has loved for a full year the person they imagined the beloved to be, and met the actual beloved only when it was too late to change course without great suffering." The season of the spark exists so that this does not happen. The symbolic act of the season of the spark is stillness. The conscious, I can never say that word right. The conscious practice of remaining present, attentive, and non-pursuing. The symbolic object is a single smooth stone placed somewhere the walker sees it daily to remind them the attraction is real, and I am choosing not to be governed by it until I have understood it. So I'm assuming, like, you could choose whatever object you want. But it's interesting. I don't know if there's, let's see. Okay. So the test of the season of the spark: does the attraction deepen or dissolve with time and sobriety? If it deepens, if the walker, having observed honestly, finds that their interest is grounded in genuine characteristics of the actual person rather than in projection, the walker may proceed to the second season. If it dissolves, the walker has saved both themselves and the other person from a bond that was not yet grounded in truth. The second season, the season of recognition. The season of recognition begins when the walker makes a respectful first approach. The approach is simple, honest, and non-pressuring. It names what is felt without demand, without theatrical intensity, and without any expectation that the named feeling must be reciprocated. The form of the approach matters. The path teaches that the declaration of interest is not an audition, not a performance designed to impress, and not a transaction. It is a simple and courageous act of honesty. I have found in spending time near you that I am drawn to who you are. I wanted to say so, and I wanted you to know that whatever you say in return, I will receive it with respect and will not make it uncomfortable for you to simply be who you are in this community. The beloved is given full freedom to decline. The path is specific here. Full freedom means no pursuit after a decline, no second approach after a clear no, no transformation of the approach into a campaign of persistent attention designed to wear down the beloved's resistance. A walker who cannot receive a no with grace has not yet sufficiently cultivated the philautia, the healthy self-love required to be ready for the seasons that follow. If mutual interest exists, both parties declare it openly and simply. The season of recognition is not the season of intense declaration. It is the season of gentle, honest naming. Both people acknowledge that something is present between them and that they wish to explore it further with care. The symbolic act of the season of recognition is the first gift, something made or gathered by the suitor's own hands, not purchased, representing genuine effort and personal attention. It need not be elaborate, it must be genuine. A letter written with care, a meal prepared with attention to what the beloved loves, something found in nature during a walk taken with the beloved in mind. The form matters less than the meaning. I gave my time and my attention and my hands to do this because you were worth that to me. The third season, the season of the feather. The season of the feather is the central and most demanding season of the walker's courtship framework. And it is the season most deeply informed by the indigenous North American traditions described in Chapter 2. The suitor presents the beloved with a symbolic object of their choosing. In the walker's framework, the object need not be a literal feather, but it must be something living, growing, or requiring care. A plant, a small garden begun together, a stone carried from a place of deep meaning to the suitor's life, a journal written across many weeks and given at a significant moment, a letter written and added to over the full course of the season. The beloved receives this object and accepts by receiving it the responsibility of care for it. The duration of the season of the feather is a full turning of the seasons, 1 year at minimum, adapted to the circumstances of those involved. Both parties use this time for the deepening of knowledge of one another. The physical expression of passion is not the purpose of this season. Mutual knowing is its purpose. During the season of the feather, the families or chosen community circles of both people are introduced gradually. The walker's community observes both people over time, their treatment of one another, their treatment of others, the patterns of their relating. The season is long enough that no one can maintain a performance for its entire duration. What is genuinely present in each person will become visible. The test of the season of the feather is this: consistent, quiet devotion without demand. The suitor who grows impatient, who escalates their approach, who uses the pressure of time or of feeling to push the beloved toward a commitment they have not yet freely offered, has failed the test of this season, not because they are bad, but because they have not yet learned to hold desire without being governed by it. Thus the elder instructors taught, the quality of the love is shown not in its most passionate moments, but in its quietest ones. Oh my god, hold on. Alright, sorry. I just keep getting like hairs tickling me and like stuff feeling like it's tickling my face and it's like driving me nuts. As soon as I press record, it starts again. It's like somebody's like doing some shit or whatever. Like, please stop. It's super fucking annoying. Alright. Thus, the elder instructors taught, the quality of the love is shown not in its most passionate moments, but in its quietest ones. Anyone can love beautifully in the light of early joy. The one who loves you in the middle of an ordinary Tuesday, they always be talking about Tuesdays. What is up with Tuesday? Even at my school that I'm going to, like the president of one of the things I'm in was like, if we all dress up on Tuesdays, we get extra privileges. And I'm like, what the fuck? Tuesday's like ruled by Samael. It's like Mars Day. So there's something there with that. Which is like action, you know, the art of war. Okay. Also, though, if you think about it, what's interesting, because we're talking about love here, Samael, is opposite to Haniel, which is Venus, which would be Fridays. So yeah, I don't know. Just something to think about there. Okay, the one who loves you in the middle of an ordinary Tuesday, carefully and consistently and without being asked, that is the one who is ready. The fourth season, the season of deepening. The season of deepening begins after the conclusion of the season of the feather and represents the most vulnerable and the most essential passage in the Walker's courtship framework. The first act of this season is the convening of a council of the beloved's trust circle. Though these are not judges in any adversarial sense, they are the people who know the beloved most truly, who have the beloved's genuine good as their concern, and who have been observing the suitor through the season of the feather. The suitor is brought into this circle to be known, not to perform, not to impress, but to be honestly assessed by those who love the person they seek to love. The council's inquiry is not into the suitor's wealth, appearance, or status. It is into their character. Are they kind in the ordinary moments of life? Are they honest when honesty is uncomfortable? Do they take responsibility for their failures, or do they always find another party to blame? How do they treat the most vulnerable people in their sphere? What do those who know them well, not those who admire them from a distance, but those who have lived with them through difficulty, say about who they truly are? The central practice of the season of deepening is the declaration of truth. Both people prepare and share, in writing or in spoken word, privately between them, and then witnessed by a trusted few, a full and honest account of who they are, their history, the wounds they carry, and the ways those wounds have shaped them, the ways they have failed in previous bonds, and what they have learned, the things they fear. And this is actually really good because, I feel like there is a huge stigma on talking about, your past, your relationships particularly. People have, such a huge problem with, people talking about that type of stuff because we're like, oh, that means you're not over that person or whatever. And it's like, dude, you need to grow up. Your history is important, okay? It doesn't define you, but it's very important. I mean, I guess in a way it does kind of define you, but it's more what you learned from it is what defines you, and how you've evolved from it. That's what defines you. Yeah, so the ways they have failed in previous bonds and what they have learned, the things they fear, the things they hope for, and the truths about themselves that they might be tempted to conceal because they are afraid those truths will not be loved. The declaration of truth is the most sacred document of the courtship process. Concealment at this stage is not merely a failure of intimacy, it is a disqualifier. A bond built on a foundation of managed impressions rather than honest revelation will eventually fracture at the points of concealment. The path considers it a mercy to discover these fractures before the bond is sealed rather than after. The fifth season, the season of betrothal. The season of betrothal begins when both parties have passed through the 4 preceding seasons with honesty and care, formally declare their intention to enter into sacred union. I feel like that sentence was worded weird, or I just said it weird, I don't know. Alright, this declaration is made in ceremony before witnesses using elements drawn from each person's cultural heritage or the path's own framework, whichever carries the most authentic meaning for those involved. A betrothal cord is tied as part of this ceremony, drawing from the hand fasting tradition in its symbolic form. 3 cords, one from the suitor's tradition or in a color they have chosen to represent themselves, one from the beloved's tradition or in a color they have chosen, and 1 cord of the path in the deep red of Eros, sustained into pragma, worn as a unity. These cords are kept by the couple as a tangible anchor of what was spoken. Following the betrothal ceremony, a period of not less than 3 months and not more than 1 year is observed. During this time, the couple works together on the practical dimensions of their shared future, the resolution of material arrangements, the meeting of extended families, the engagement with elders or community counselors who can offer wisdom about what the union will require, and the planning of the union ceremony to follow. The betrothal period is not a formality. It is the final season of preparation. Conflicts that arise during the betrothal period are not indications that the bond should be dissolved. They are opportunities to practice before the union is sealed the communication and repair skills that every long bond will require. How 2 people navigate a genuine disagreement during the betrothal tells both of them far more about their future together than the harmony of their early seasons. The 6th season, the season of union. The season of union is the sacred marriage rite itself, described in full in chapter 4. The 6th season is both a single ceremony and the beginning of the longest journey 2 people undertake together. It is the threshold, not the destination. The 7th season, the season of legacy. The season of legacy begins on the morning after the union ceremony and lasts for the remainder of the lives of those joined. It is the season that receives the least attention in most traditions, which regard the wedding as the culmination, and it is the season most demanding of all. The path teaches that the tending of a bond is not less sacred than its formation. It is more sacred because it requires more. It requires the daily renewal of choice. It requires the practice of honesty in the moments when honesty is uncomfortable. It requires the willingness to grow and to allow the beloved to grow, including growing in ways that were not anticipated and that require the bond to expand rather than to calcify. The built-in checkpoints of the path, the 7th year rite and the 21st year rite described in chapter 4 are the formal moments of the season of legacy set aside for the renewal of intention and the honest assessment of the bond's health. But the work of the season of legacy is not confined to these moments. It is performed in every day. The protocol of honest departure. The path sets forth a teaching that many courtship frameworks omit, to their great cost. The instruction on how to leave any season with grace and without causing unnecessary harm. A walker who has entered into any season of the courtship framework and has discerned through honest self-examination that they must not proceed further carries an obligation of care in their departure. I just heard like a creepy kind of, almost like a demon growl when I said that. It's like, like, the fuck? Okay. This obligation is not discharged by simply withdrawing without communication, by fading into silence, by making the other person responsible for naming what the departing walker has already decided, or by manufacturing conflict as an excuse. The protocol of honest departure calls the walker to name clearly and honestly in a private conversation with the other person that they are choosing not to continue, to take full ownership of this choice without cruelty and without the false kindness of vagueness that leaves the other person in confusion, and to hold the space for the other person's grief, which is real and is honored. The path teaches explicitly leaving cleanly and truthfully is an act of love, not a failure of it. The walker who departs with honesty and care gives the other person something invaluable: the clarity to grieve what was, to close what was opened, and to eventually return to their own fullness. Cowardly departure, the fade, the cruelty designed to make leaving easier, the manufactured incompatibility, steals this clarity and extends the other person's suffering needlessly. Blessed is every season, however long or brief. Blessed is the spark that is honestly held and honestly assessed. Blessed is the recognition that is given freely and received without demand. Blessed is the feather that is tended through the long middle of an ordinary year. Blessed is the deepening that requires the walker to be fully known. Blessed is the betrothal that names what is real before the community. Blessed is the union and all the daily work of legacy that follows it. And blessed even is the honest departure, for it too is an act of love, when love is what guides it. So it is taught, so it is walked. The 7 seasons teach the approach. The next chapter teaches the threshold. Having shown how love may be discerned, named, tested, and released, the path now turns to the formal rites by which a bond that has endured those seasons may be witnessed, vowed, blessed, renewed, and carried into daily life. Hold on, let me see here. 1, 2. So we can read this one, I guess. We have time here. All right. Chapter 4, the rites of betrothal and union, sacred marriage across the path. 2 people stand at the threshold, behind them all that they have been, before them all that they will become together. This ceremony is the threshold itself, the place where the old self is honored and the new life is received. The Elder Instructor's 3rd discourse on the threshold of union. In this chapter, the path sets forth the specific forms and practices of its formal betrothal rite and union ceremony. These are frameworks, not scripts. They are structures within which the particular beauty, history, and cultural inheritance of the specific people entering them may be fully expressed. Part 1. The Walker's Betrothal Rite. The betrothal rite is convened after both parties have completed the first 4 seasons of sacred approach and have, in honest counsel with themselves and their communities, determined that they wish to proceed to union. The rite is held before a gathering of witnesses, not a large public ceremony necessarily, but a specific intentional assembly of those people whose witness the couple most values. The rite opens with the convener, an elder, a spiritual leader, or a respected community member chosen by the couple, naming the occasion. We gather here as witnesses to the intention of these two people. We do not gather to celebrate what is finished. We gather to hold what is beginning. The declaration of truth is spoken publicly at this rite, or a portion of it, the part the couple has agreed to share with the assembled community. The declaration names who each person is, their lineage, their history, their promises about who they intend to be in this bond. The witnesses receive this declaration not as entertainment, but as a responsibility. They are now holders of what has been named. The betrothal cord binding is performed. 3 cords are brought forward. The first cord comes from the suitor's tradition, or is colored and chosen to represent who they are. The second cord comes from the beloved's tradition, or is colored and chosen to represent who they are. The third cord is the cord of the path, deep red for the love that sustains across seasons. The cords are braided and bound around the joined hands of both people. The convener speaks. 3 cords, each distinct. 3 natures, each sovereign. Bound here, not because any one of you is incomplete, but because what is being built together has strength that what is separate cannot hold. The exchange of named objects follows the cord binding. Each partner gives the other something that carries their name or resonance, something that will remain with the other through the betrothal season as a tangible anchor of what has been spoken. This may be a ring or another piece of jewelry. It may be a written object such as a letter or a small book. It may be an object from a place of deep personal meaning. The criterion is that it carries the giver genuinely, that it is not a generic symbol, but a specifically personal one. The rite closes with the blessing of elders. 1 or more elders of the community speak a formal blessing over the couple, drawing from their own experience of long bond, their understanding of what the couple before them is made of, and the specific gifts and specific challenges they observe this pairing to carry. The blessing is not empty ceremonial language. It is honest, warm, and particular to these specific people. Part 2, the Walker's Union Ceremony. The Walker's Union Ceremony is the sacred marriage rite of the Two Worlds path. It proceeds in 7 acts, each distinct and purposeful. The first act, opening of the sacred space. The space of the ceremony is prepared and held as a temenos, a sacred precinct set apart from ordinary time. See book 6, chapter 2, on the temenos and its establishment. The convener marks the boundaries of the space, calls the attention of all present to the sacredness of the occasion, and invites the community into a moment of collective stillness and intention before the ceremony begins. The second act, declaration of witness. The convener addresses the community. You who are gathered here are not guests. You are witnesses. A witness is different from a guest. A guest receives what is offered. A witness takes on a responsibility. By remaining in this space, you accept the responsibility of holding what you see here, of knowing this bond, supporting it in difficulty, celebrating it in joy, and telling the truth to these two people when the truth is what they need. The community affirms their witness. I really love that. A lot of times it's like, or I feel like the main vibe or like ideation or whatever you want to call it surrounding weddings is like a party to go to and have fun and get food and parting gifts or whatever. And that's not what it should be about at all. So this is actually really beautiful. The third act, the 7 vows of the path. These are spoken by both partners, each in turn to the other. They are described in full in the following section. The fourth act, the exchange of gifts. The gifts exchanged at union carry the particular history of these two people. Chosen in the final weeks of the betrothal season with full care, representing what each person most wishes to give the other for the life ahead. The fifth act, the blessing of the community. Each member of the witness community who wishes to speak a blessing is given the opportunity. Briefly from the heart without performance. The cumulative effect of many genuine blessings spoken in the presence of the couple is one of the great experiences available to the human spirit. The sixth act, the sealing touch. The couple is joined in whatever form of physical expression of union is most meaningful to them and appropriate to the setting. A kiss, a long embrace, the joining of foreheads, the pressing of hands over one another's hearts. The sealing touch is not performance for the community, but a private moment of genuine connection, witnessed rather than directed. I like that too, because a lot of times, like, the main thing that people are expected to do is kiss each other in front of everybody, like, and I just like the idea of releasing these preconceived, like, expectations, like, alright, so the seventh act, the feast of witness. The community gathers to share food, prepared or gathered in celebration as an act of communal joy. The feast is not incidental to the ceremony, it is its final act. The community's shared nourishment as a symbol of the nourishment this union will offer to all who are held within its sphere. Ooh, I love that. That's really good. That's awesome as well. It's like giving meaning to like everything that's going on in the whole ceremony, It's like usually with eating at weddings, it's just like all about like eating yummy food. Like, I just want to eat yummy food. I want expensive lobster or whatever, you know? And then people, like, complain if it wasn't up to their standards and stuff. And it's like, that's not what it's about. And this actually gives a meaning for it that's valuable. Part 3, the 7 vows of the path. The 7 vows of the path are spoken by each partner to the other. They draw their deep structure from the I can't say it, oh my goodness, SAAT, sphere, PHERE tradition of the Hindu ceremony, rewritten in the voice of the path in the particular language of the walker's canon. The first vow, nourishment. I vow to nourish you in body, offering care when your body is in need. In mind, offering the honest exchange of thought and question and discovery. In soul, protecting the space in which your deepest self may breathe and grow. I vow to be a source of sustenance, not of depletion in your life. Okay, sorry, I was just thinking about something. Alright, anyways, the second vow, presence. I vow to be present with you, not merely in the same room, but truly present. Attentive to who you are and not only to what I need from you. Here in the ordinary moments as well as the significant ones, willing to put down what I am carrying when you need me to simply be with you, and to trust that you will do the same for me. The third vow, honesty. I vow to tell you the truth about who I am, about what I need, about what I am struggling with, about what I fear. I vow not to manage your impressions of me at the cost of genuine knowing. I vow to say the difficult thing with care, rather than swallowing it with resentment. I vow that you will always know where you stand with me. The fourth vow, growth. I vow to support your becoming, even when who you are becoming requires you to change in ways I did not anticipate, even when your growth calls me to grow as well. I vow to be a partner in your unfolding and not a constraint upon it. I vow to celebrate what you discover about yourself and to love the person who is still discovering. That's a good one. That's a really good one. The fifth vow, protection. I love these. This is so good. This is good shit right here. Chef's kiss. All right. I vow to be your protector, to stand between you and what would harm you when I am able, to speak in your defense when you cannot speak for yourself, to take seriously every threat to your safety, dignity, and peace. I vow to protect not only your body, but your name, your reputation, and your inner life. The sixth vow, joy. I vow to be a source of joy to you. To remember that life together is not only seriousness and work, but also laughter and delight and play. I vow to find reasons to celebrate you often, and not only on the occasions the calendar names as significant. I vow to be someone in whose company you find the world lighter than it was before you arrived. The seventh vow, legacy. I vow to tend what we are building together, the life, the history, the love that will be the inheritance we leave to all who come after us. I vow to take seriously the work of this bond, day after day, year after year, and to choose you again in every season of the life ahead. Not because it is always easy, but because you are worth it. And because what we are building is worth it. Part 4, the dual inheritance ceremony. For couples whose traditions are different, whether by religion, culture, nationality, or background, the path offers the dual inheritance ceremony, a framework for weaving two traditions into a single ceremony, with full dignity and no dilution of either. The principle of the dual inheritance ceremony is that neither tradition is demoted to decoration. Both are present as living realities, spoken by those who carry them, performed with the full weight of their meaning, and received by the whole community with equal reverence. The ceremony does not ask either tradition to shrink to accommodate the other. It creates a space large enough to hold both. In practice, this means that elements from both traditions are chosen collaboratively by the couple with the guidance of representatives from each tradition, and arranged in a sequence that allows each to breathe fully. The ceremony may move between languages, between symbolic acts drawn from different sources, between blessing forms that reflect different spiritual vocabularies. The result is not a diluted ceremony, but an enriched one. Part 5, the circle of chosen kin. For those walkers whose birth families are estranged, absent, hostile, or otherwise unable to play the roles the ceremonies call for, the path formally and warmly provides the circle of chosen kin. These are the people who have proven themselves through the seasons of the walker's life to be family in the truest sense, not by accident of blood, but by the sustained choice of love and loyalty. The circle of chosen kin may perform every role in the betrothal and union ceremonies that birth family would otherwise hold. They may serve as the conveners of the council, the givers and receivers of the formal blessing, the witnesses who take on the obligations of true witness. The path recognizes no hierarchy between born family and chosen family in the context of ceremony. Love is the criterion, and love is the qualification. Part 6, the rites of renewal. The path builds into the legacy, or into the season of legacy, two formal checkpoints of recommitment. The 7th year rite and the 21st year rite. The 7th year rite is held in the 7th year of the union. The couple gathers with their community witnesses, returns to a significant place of their bond's history, and renews this. Oh my goodness. I gotta stop here for a second and just say something real quick. Whoever's sending out this lung problem energy by like chain smoking and stuff, and then thinking about me and trying to transfer it onto me, I rebuke that shit in the name of the Most High, Elohim Adonai, and the Holy Ghost is with the Mostest, first of all. Also, code Mr. Brown, all 7 archangels onto your ass, okay? And return to sender times fucking 20, because I am so over you assholes doing that shit. All right. So, alright, I'm not sure how far I read here because I was getting very distracted. Alright. The 7th year rite is held in the 7th year of the union. The couple gathers with their community witnesses, returns to a significant place of their bond's history, and renews the 7 vows of the path, adapted as needed to reflect what 7 years of living together has taught them about what those vows truly mean. It is also an occasion for honest accounting. What have we built? What are we proud of? What have we not yet done that we named in our vows? And what do we commit to beginning now? Alright, the 21st year rite is held in the 21st year, when 3 full cycles of 7 has been completed. It is a larger ceremony than the 7th year renewal, a full celebration of what has been built, attended by the wider community, and including the formal passing of the wisdom of the bond to any younger couples in the community who are in their own early seasons. The couple who has traveled 21 years together becomes, in this rite, an elder holding wisdom for those who come after them. Blessed are those who have stood at the threshold and leapt. Blessed are those who have spoken the vows and then spent their years making them true. Blessed are those who have renewed what they built year by year in the ordinary light of ordinary days. The bond that is tended becomes a shelter for all who enter its warmth. So it is built, so it is blessed, so it endures. The rites of chapter 4 give formal shape to committed union, but the path does not confine sacred love to one shape. The next chapter widens the teaching, asking how the same laws of freedom, honesty, and genuine good apply wherever love takes forms beyond the expected pattern. All right, and that is the end of chapters 4 and 5. 3 and 4, sorry. All right, and next time we will move on to chapter 5, which is the doctrine of diverse bonds, polyamory, non-traditional union, and ethical love. And the quote for that one is, "The path is not a corridor with a single door. It is a wide country, and love takes many shapes in a wide country. The quest the path asks of every bond is not what shape it takes, but whether it is honest, whether it is free, and whether it serves the genuine good of every soul it touches." The Remembrancers from the Third Scroll of Belonging. I think this is going to be a very important one, because people have a lot of issues. There's a lot of conflict going on surrounding what this chapter is about, okay? And I think, let's see, after that, there's 5 more chapters. How many chapters? Yeah, there's 10 chapters in total. So we'll be halfway done next time, okay? Alright, real quick, let's see. Let's do intentions. What are the intentions that the person you're thinking about has for you? We'll do 1 through 5, okay? So number one, pause the video if you need to, a moment to decide. Number one, the intentions are hidden intentions. Loyalty, staying committed to people or values in the upright. So choose conscious loyalty, not obligation. So they might be struggling with the idea of being loyal to you. Because they might just feel obligated, but it is in the upright. The shadow can become blind allegiance. So yeah, there's something here about claiming your sovereignty and inner authority. So either like you might be doing this with whoever you're thinking about, or they're doing this with you. So Spirit just wants you to be aware of that, okay? All right, number two, what to do, number two. What are the intentions of the person you're thinking about towards you? Ascended intentions in the reverse. Energetic purity. Holding intentions free of shadow motivations. Alchemy regularly cleanses motives through introspection. So there is no shadow on this one. So we got energetic purity, holding intentions free of shadow motivations. Okay, so they have good intentions towards you, number two. All right, number three, what it be, number three? What is the person's intentions towards you that you're thinking about? Oh, okay. You got hidden intentions, loyalty, staying committed to people or values, and also sacred union, seeking connections rooted in mutual elevation, alchemy, engage from wholeness, not need. Okay, so yeah, there's something here. There's something here to being fully like the other person needs to like really. They should probably read this book. So, like, that would help them, right? Or like you could try to talk to them about some of these principles in this book, because it seems like they're confused. They're not sure if they're choosing you because they're obligated or if they're actually loyal to you, but they're feeling obligated. Engage from wholeness, not need. They may be obligated due to like feeling dependent on you for some reason. All right, number four, what doth the spirits implore? Number four, what is the person you're thinking about's intentions towards you? Okay, quite a lot here. Can prevent evolution, hidden intentions, attachment. Desiring to hold on to people, places, or identities can prevent evolution. Alchemy, practice loving detachment. So they might be feeling overly attached. They're trying to avoid loss, trying not to lose love, status, stability, or identity. Can create clinging or sabotage. Accept impermanence as part of spiritual maturity. Liberation, seeking freedom from old patterns, systems, or expectations. Alchemy, ensure freedom does not become avoidance. And then seeking security, wanting stability, safety, or predictability, can turn into fear-based stagnation. Allow growth to coexist with safety. And then ancestral healing, intending to end generational cycles. Combine accountability with forgiveness. All right, that's the messages for the person you're thinking about, what they're thinking about you. Number five, what is the person you're thinking about's intentions towards you? Number five. I'm just gonna flip to it. Legacy, intending to leave meaningful impact. Focus on authenticity, not image. Okay, so yeah, so they're focusing on legacy. They want to have a meaningful relationship with you where it leaves a impact on the world in a meaningful way. Okay, that's the message I have for you guys for today, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.